How's it going, everyone? Dan here, and I'm here with some post commentary on this video. As you can tell by the title, MabiPro isn't perfect. I really just want to speak a little bit about private servers in general, and honestly about a comment that I actually came across recently that decided to plague my channel with spam that YouTube decided to flag it as spam. As such, it was replied to 27 comments, the same comment going over and over and over, and it made me, honestly, it inspired me to do this little bit of discussion. I'm not going to call this person out. That comment is, now gone. I mean, it never existed to begin with, but because YouTube caught it as spam, I did read over it, and it like I said, it made me want to speak about MabiPro and why it isn't perfect, and it never really will be, because nothing is perfect in life. But just a few points I want to go over. I've got it here in front of me. I apologize about this kind of thing. I'm not really good at speaking my mind when it comes to things, but post commentary is a lot better because I don't have to worry about the gameplay. I can just sit here and talk, and we can edit it down later. So anyway, enough beating around the bush. Let's start. So first one thing I want to talk about is the choice of playing between private and live, because honestly, people, it comes down to your personal preference. Okay, obviously private servers are illegal. Private servers have always been illegal, period. That's why they get shut down all the time, but yet people still run them, because your choice of playing between a private server and normal is because usually you don't agree or you don't like playing the official game. You don't like where the official game has gone. So then when you make a private server, you typically want to play with certain subset of a certain subset of content that you want to play on a private server, or you just want to get away from live in general. Basically, long story short, the choice of choosing a private server between a live server is your personal preference, and it really just comes down to entertainment, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter which one you sink your time into. Hell, either one of them could end at a moment's notice. You see games shut down all the time, whether it's with an official company or private server or what, it doesn't matter. But either one of them can just shut down at any moment. You don't know that. So the point of playing these games, hell, any MMO, any game, period, is for fun. It's for pure fun and nothing else. So the choice between playing a private server or playing live doesn't mean one is better or worse than the other. But yet people sometimes assume that because someone's playing on a private server, and they don't understand why, that they're assuming that it's better, but no one even says that. And yet you get comments sometimes that just come down on you, like, why are you playing on private server? Why are you playing on private server? It's just, that's personal choice. Obviously the choice of me playing MabiPro, or anyone playing MabiPro versus live, is the fact that people playing MabiPro genuinely enjoyed Mabinogi the way it was back in G13 with the classic combat and all of that. Dynamic combat was a changing point on Mabi's identity as a game, and a lot of people didn't like that update. I'm not saying everybody didn't like that update. I'm just saying some people didn't like that update. Therefore, they switched. They quit. And then when you hear that you have a choice to play the combat again, when that's not possible or hasn't been possible in years, we're talking like, what, 4 or 5 years now, probably even more than that. Of course people are going to jump on board and play this private server. It's nostalgic in a way, and that is why the choice is there. That doesn't mean they're worse off. That just mean they have a little bit limited content, but still, it's the choice of wanting to experience the combat. If you want to continue playing live, no one's stopping you. Live is not going anywhere, so there it is. It's not better or worse. So then the second point, this comment, I was reading up, this comment said, is rules. You would think, and a lot of people are a little bit controversial about rules in a private server. There are some people who think rules shouldn't exist in a private server. You should just be able to do whatever the fuck you want because it's a private server. And while in a way that is kind of true, you're trying to not be so, I guess, PC about it in a live server, at the end of the day, rules don't exist to limit what you say specifically. In fact, rules aren't really there just to be a pain in the ass. Rules are just there for boundaries, because everyone is different. Everyone is different in the world. Every human is completely different. Rules exist to make sure everyone has the same gameplay experience as everyone else. You know, no one's experience is going to be ruined by someone doing some stupid shit like, you know, bullying or like racism or stuff like that. It happens, yes, it does, you know. But if the rules weren't there, then no one would do anything about it, and then people would be quitting because they're getting like, talk shit in the chat, or like getting bullied or getting flamed and stuff, and like things like that. And overall, rules just keep the peace in a way. You would think, I mean, I know, I understand where people are coming from. There are some restrictions that, and honestly, I'm a little bit biased. I don't really care for the rules in place right now. Some of them a little bit, more weirdly worded than others, or I don't even know what I'm saying. Well, anyway, some of the rules I don't agree with on MabiPro, obviously, but I understand why they're there, and we have no choice but to follow said rules. MabiPro isn't perfect, but rules need to be there so everyone can experience the game the way it's meant to be played, not get bullied out in 5 minutes. It's stuff like that that keeps the peace, as I was saying, as I repeat myself. So I'm going to get off this topic. Rules need to be in place. But yeah, there are some people who think that they're immune to the rules, that there don't need to be any rules. They can say whatever the fuck they want to whoever the fuck they want and expect them not to get punished for it. Which brings me to the third reason, or third note here, is that this server is being ran by the developers out of their pocket. Like, they're not asking for any money in return but donations. Otherwise, they're taking this out of their own pocket by their own choice and keeping the server alive for all of us to enjoy. Like, I'm not saying you have to kiss their ass or nothing, obviously. You don't have to be such a kiss ass. You don't have to, go up and bow at their feet. But we should be grateful for them running this server out of their pockets, giving us the experience, or the chance to even experience Mabi back in its classic days again. Hell, we hardly have that choice anymore. It's either live or nothing. There aren't many Mabi private servers out there. Sure, the files are out there, they're leaked. You can run your own server, do your own local thing. But playing with other people, in a sense, that's a rare chance to get. Especially for a game like Mabi, where, I imagine running a server is a lot more complicated than it seems. As I've only seen Aura Project, and that was coded from scratch apparently, and I got a little taste of how it is to run a server, but I imagine we don't get that chance anymore to do classic combat. It's either live, dynamic combat, or nothing. There's no vanilla server, there's no, server that, progress servers, there's none of that. So the fact that MabiPro even exists, because the devs are choosing to keep it alive and choosing to pay for it and continuing on to work on it and adding more custom content to it, they're clearly determined to make this a successful server, for everyone to enjoy, whether, they're here for 5 minutes or they're here for the rest of their Mabi life. Like, that's a good thing. But yet there are people who think that if they come in the server in Discord or whatever and start talking shit, that nothing's going to happen to them. Like talking trash towards the developers or GMs of all people, or certain, figures, authority figures in the community, as I'll say, I'll just leave it at that they're not going to get any backlash for it. And that's not okay. Like, we shouldn't be, I'm not saying you have to, like I said, treat them like they're a king or something, but they are the GMs. And at the end of the day, they are human. And humankind will always be humankind at the end of the day. And emotions will always be present, We're humans, we're emotional beings. Therefore, we will do things based on our emotional response. If someone comes up to you and starts talking trash about what you're doing, of course you're gonna get defensive. That's like the first reaction. And even if you're someone who swears by not getting into fights, not getting into drama and whatnot, at the end of the day, you are still human. Your fight or flight response is still in there. And if someone comes up to there, say you were running this big project, and someone comes in and starts saying that people shouldn't play this, it's illegal, you should play live, blah, 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 of course you're gonna get some shit thrown back at you, because you it's just the way humans are. Emotions are gonna rise, someone's gonna get defensive, and you might get banned, for saying something little. You might get banned for saying something a lot. That is the choice. That is actually not the choice. That is a risk you take when you invest time into a private server, I mean, it's same in life. You play this game knowing good and well if you say some wrong shit and someone reports you for it, even if it's something little, it may seem little to you, but it may have hurt someone in the meantime, you might get banned for it. You just have to realize that no matter what game you play, there's always a chance of you getting banned. No one's a social butterfly, if you will, but you do have to realize that emotions are gonna happen, When you play on a private server, you have to realize that these are human beings running this server, and that emotions may happen. You never may know what's going on behind the scenes. People might be getting hidden deals behind the scenes. No one really knows. In fact, that's not even none of your business at the end of the day. You're there when you join a private server, you're not there for the people. And I hate to sound evil like that, but you really aren't there for the people. At least the people, meeting friends and there for the people is secondary when you're joining a private server like this. You're there for the gameplay, obviously. You want to experience the combat for the way it was. You want to experience Mabinogi the way it was back then. So you're there for the gameplay first. And then, if you make some friends along the way, that's icing on the cake as far as I'm concerned. But you shouldn't expect that you're going to be perfect through this whole thing socially, just because that doesn't happen. Human beings are not robots that don't feel anything. You just have to realize that, you're always on the risk of saying something wrong and offending somebody. That's just the way humans are. And especially, now in 2018 more than ever, where things are moving forward in time, forward in the world socially, you really have to be careful what you say nowadays, because there are a lot more bullies out there. And let's just be real, there are scumbags out there in the world that may not get punished. And don't take this the wrong way. There's a difference between scumbags and there's meme lords. And there are a lot of meme lords in MabiPro. In fact, you would say that there's going to be a lot of meme lords everywhere, no matter what game you play, because that's just the kind of, that's just what humankind has developed into nowadays, Memes are being made every day. People joke around a lot. It's a fun thing to experience. That's the difference between it being ran by Nexon and ran by people, is that, Nexon, they're a corporate company. They got to be careful. So they're going to be a little bit more restrictive. But if you're being ran by, just normal people who are just running a server, sure, that might be a little bit loose, and you might see some things that you're not going to see in live. But that doesn't make it a terrible server. That doesn't make it a terrible community, You can't lump everybody in with, a few memes that you see the moment you'll get in, You just gotta go with the flow. It's just like real life. You're not gonna lump a group of people in with that whole group of people just because a few of them are assholes, It happens. At the end of the day, nothing's really perfect. MabiPro isn't perfect. Private servers will never be perfect. And honestly, games will never be perfect. At the end of the day, everything's for the sake of entertainment, Don't try to knock something off. If someone makes a choice to play this private server, let them play the private server, that's their choice. If they get entertainment out of it, I don't really see the issue in them playing it. Because that's what any game is for. At the end of the day, is just sit down, sink some hours into it, have fun, have a few laughs, and then just leave. Because, things could just disappear the next day. You don't know that. It doesn't matter whether you're playing private server or live, as I've said before. Things can disappear at pretty much the drop of a hat. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little discussion, and I will thank you guys for your time today, that you support. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time with the next MabiPro video. See you then.